I built a second activity here for email outreach using Instantly for the sheer sake of being able to do volume, much larger scale of outreach. And I'm very quickly going over the resources. The idea of this brief is that it is using Instantly as opposed to Apollo. Again, this is for a much larger volume of outreach and being able to use some of these done for you burner domains. So once you go through these different tools, it's very similar in terms of the step-by-step flow that you're going to do a lot of the outreach. So either way, you're going to need to sign up for Apollo in order to find a lot of company contacts. Once you've done that, you're going to hop over to Instantly. And Instantly is where all the fun really happens in terms of being able to scale this up exponentially. Instantly looks like this. All you have to do is hit get started or start for free, and you can go through the sign up process, and we'll pick up right where we leave off there. Once you sign into Instantly, you're given the ability to go through some onboarding in order to understand exactly what the different functions are. This is nice, but ultimately the big focus for us should be connecting our email account so we can send out a bunch of emails. I'm going to hit 3 different ways of doing it, and we just hit that connect button to get started. Let's go into the first option it gives you, which is pre-warmed accounts. These are domains that have been pre-warmed, meaning emails have been going out from them. So you can do larger blasts at the very beginning. The problem is that they're either generically named or very specific, which isn't going to be a good use case. If you receive an email from some bizarre domain that's talking about you, the individual, for a potential job, they're going to be like, I don't know what this is. And you either way buying these domains. So maybe this isn't the best option for us. The second option is the done for you email setup. This is probably by far the most valuable option because it saves you a ton of time. And I would put in something that is very specific to me. So CMO Taylor Ryan. And I want cheaper domains, so I'm going with .coms, and it's going to give me a few different variants. I would be able to potentially select the ones that I like. It gives kind of a few different names at the very front of kind of what I'm putting together. Why not? And ultimately, I'm still paying $15 for the domain. And the goal is to have 5 emails running constantly, usually 40 outreaches per day. That comes out to, if you were to buy up 3 domains, 5 email addresses a piece, and do this for 40 emails every single day, it's 600 outreaches every single day. Now, that might be too much for you and what you're trying to build, but I just want to show you what that looks like. And then it gives me kind of the auto-generated individual emails. The prices add up very, very quickly. So just bear in mind that, yes, this is a done for you route, but it can be a lot more expensive. I'm going to show the not expensive route. The third and final option I'm going to very quickly show you, it is connecting existing Gmail accounts. Now, if you are already paying for a Google Workspace account, either through an EDU setup or a paid Google Workspace, you would go this way. If you are using personal email addresses, you pick the other one. There's a great little tutorial that shows you how to connect everything. I'm going to show you super fast. This is perfect if you are sending out bulk emails from personal email accounts, which is what we're going to do. Going to log in. Now, I've already put in my 2FA. Great. And at this point, we would want to either set up the phone number or any type of 2FA that exists down here. I've already set up my phone number. After you've connected your phone number to your Gmail account, you'll just search for app or app passwords. You're going to name the app Instantly because that's the tool that we're using, and then it will give you a generated password. We're going to copy that, and then we'll bring it over to Instantly. Inside of Instantly, we're hitting next. We're putting in our email address that we'll be sending out emails from, and then we are pasting our app password and hitting connect. Now my email address is connected and I'm ready to start sending out email campaigns on Instantly up to 30. Before we get too far in, I do want to mention that it is important to warm up your emails, especially if you plan on sending out a lot of emails in bulk. It is super easy to do that. We enable warm up. Yes, I understand. It's going to send emails that have a little message in the subject line so that you know, hey, this isn't related to any of the emails that you've actually been sending. It gives the impression that you are sending out a lot more emails and you have a lot more activity than you really do so that you won't get flagged to spam. Our next step will be to send out emails from our Instantly account, but we need a lead list before we can build our campaign so we have somebody to send these emails to. I'm going to use Apollo to export a list that I've already created. I'm not going to go through the process once more of recreating a targeted list because we've already done that in previous segments and modules. So I'm going to hop over to lists inside of Apollo, and I have all these different lists here. Let's just jump into this one, and I can either add to sequence in Apollo or I can use instantly. I'm going to go ahead and export these so I can use it inside of instantly. So the idea is I just hit the export down button here. So I can choose between all emails or all verified emails only. And the concept is it is really important for us to enrich these. I'm not going to go through the process of enrichment right now. So I'm just going to hit only the verified emails and hit export records and then download. And I have my list of contacts. Great, let's jump back over to instantly. I want to start my first campaign, so I'm hitting the campaigns button on the side there. I'm going to hit add new, and I need to name it. I'm naming it after the list that I've already exported out of Apollo. So I'm going to hit DK, that's the country, blockchain is the industry, no job post, and that should be good enough. Great. Now it's time for me to add that lead list. So I'm going to hit add leads or add leads, CSV upload, click upload. I'm making sure that I'm matching the different fields to the correct areas, and it's giving me a preview of what's there. So inside of this one, I can see email, and it gives me company name. So that's not right. And then does not import, those are the email addresses. So I need to do a little switcheroo on those. So I don't need this one, do not import. I do need this one because that's the email addresses. And I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. Keep going, a lot of fields, and then I'm going to hit upload. Great. Now I want to build my campaign using the merge fields. Real quick, before you go creating these new templates, remember that we've done this before. We've done this with LinkedIn, and there was an extensive brief that you can totally go through and tailor and custom the outreach with merge fields. And I've also provided a crazy amount of template resources. So if you don't like what is created out of the LLM, there are a bunch of other options here. And lastly, I've created a bunch of generic email templates that go through the sequence. So you have your initial outreach, and then you have follow-up emails with merge fields so that you can really customize this to whatever you like. Watch me very quickly build out these sequences using templates and adjusting the merge fields so that I have a sequence of 3 emails with delays in between each in order to get the attention of people that might connect with me for a possible meeting. Inside of my cold outreach templates, I'm just grabbing one of the random templates, copy, paste. Now I'm adjusting the merge fields. I want to also make sure that I'm adding in a short but concise subject line. And I'm adding a very rudimentary signature for now. I can get very fancy on it, but let's keep it simple. Saved. I can decide if I want to use this as a template later on, but for now, I'm good with this. Now, unless I change the subject line, it's going to use the previous email subject line when sending out. I am going to pull in the second template that allows me to do a follow-up email. So let's quickly do that. Copy, paste. And I'm just going to adjust and wordsmith a little bit and replace the merge fields. Once more, I want to make sure that I add my signature in here. Good. And now it's time for me to add my third email, which will go out 1 to 2 days after the second email. You can see that there is a 1-day delay. I usually put 1 or 2. Let's go with 2. And now I need to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy and paste my final follow-up email. Copy, paste. Now it's just a bit of formatting and adding my signature. We're back inside of our brief, and the last part that everybody skips for whatever reason is the review and testing of the sequence. I know it feels like extra work, but honestly, you catch so many little mistakes and issues when doing this. So we're just going to hop directly back over to instantly and do a quick preview, and then we'll send out a test. So I'm going to hit the preview button, and I can see the first name has gotten in there. Great. It has the company name. I feel pretty good. Now I can also send a test email. Great. And that is going out, and I should be able to check it out real quick because it's gone to my personal email address. Let's check out the next one. Now I'm looking to see if all the merge fields are correct and if it reads well. So preview, yes, good. Send out a test email, see what it comes up with. Good. Last one, preview. I'm missing the first name. So I have inadvertently put in the wrong merge field, which happens all the time. So the mistake was I've used the merge field from the template and not replaced it with the merge field from this platform. So very quickly, you can see where that issue might be. Now, I've also noticed that there's a space between the comma on, I believe, the first one. There we go. It's a small thing, but it counts. So that's me checking the individual emails and also sending the test sequence so I can check it out in my personal email. Let's just very quickly do that. This looks okay. This looks fine. Maybe I would want to throw in a line break, but I'm good with that. And this looks pretty good too. Now, I could always wordsmith and make these look better, but for now, for demonstrating this, that's where we are. It's time for us to finally send stuff out via Instantly, so I'm going to check out the scheduling options that I have. Now, I'm sending this out during a Monday, so I'm okay with the timelines that are in there. I'm going to move on to the options. If I had multiple accounts connected to this, I would be able to select the different email accounts that would be available for me to send them out. I'm selecting the one that I do have. Now, stop sending emails based on the reply. I want to make sure that's enabled so that they don't respond. And then they're like, dude, why are you following up? I literally wrote like, yes, let's talk. Link tracking is nice. It does help. So I could enable that. And ultimately, the delivery optimization in terms of being able to strip out HTML, that's fine, but then I don't have the ability to do link tracking. So I'm going to stipulate that you don't necessarily need to have it sent as HTML. It's neither here nor there. Daily limit, when we're first starting out, I'm okay with 30. There's not a whole lot of great stuff within advanced options, especially if we're sending from a trial account. There's not really a whole lot of options in here that I'm going to be able to throw in that are going to make a ton of sense. The only thing that I might stipulate is the different time between each email getting sent on a sequential order so that it doesn't immediately flag me as like total spam. I can do some A/B testing, but that's not what this is about today. And there's a few other options that I think are nice. But I do, if I am sending out from a European country, it actually does make sense to insert the unsubscribe so that people can opt out if they want to. Aside from all that, I am ready to launch this thing, so I am going to hit launch. Now, I will get a progress update as it continues to send these sequentially. It will take time because, as you saw in the advanced options, that it does give me the ability to set a timeline between when email 1 and email 2 goes out sequentially in order so that it's not blasting 21 people all at once from my individual email address. Again, this is done so that it prevents you coming up as a spammer. You will be able to check the analytics, specifically open rate, which I always want to check out, and click rate if people are going into the signature or you included a link to something inside of the email. This is sending out stuff via Instantly. This was the fast, quick, and dirty version. There are lots and lots of really cool ways to send these out at scale. The whole reason that we did this is so that you would be able to bulk email lots and lots of people in order to get on everybody's radar. And again, potentially get that first conversation going, which can lead to a really cool job interview and potentially your first job offer.